Hi everybody, let's paint a magical scenery using watercolors. For supplies, I'm using water, an old piece of cloth, a flat paint brush or whatever is available, and some watercolors. So let's begin. I started by painting the sky first, and the colors I went with were blue, purple, orange, and yellow. You can use any color that you want, even a red, orange, and yellow color looks perfect, but this is just what I went with because I wanted to make it more magical. So I'm just laying down the colors in a very loose manner, and my art style throughout this painting is not going to be smooth. It will have some textures, some whimsy, and some magical elements to it. This is why I'm not making anything look perfect right now. As you will see the paint dry, you will see that there are a lot of textures within the sky which makes it give an illusion that there are some dull clouds behind. The best thing about watercolor is that while the paint is wet, you can really go back and forth with all the shades that you have so that it creates a gradient while keeping things fun. Now it's time for landscape. I'm choosing a classic green color and some other medium and darker shades to it. I love how it looks when it dries, and this is perfect for me as a background. I feel like a landscape is incomplete without mountains, so I took some brown color and I'm just adding mountainous shapes which are not perfect because this is inspired from real life and mountains aren't too perfect, so keep that in mind when you're painting something like this. I will also add some black shadow to it so that it doesn't look too flat right now. Look at that blend of colors. Now it looks more concrete. I started finishing the landscape first because honestly I'm too scared to draw clouds, but later I did conquer that fear, which you will see in a bit. So these trees are placed in the distance. This is why they won't have too many shapes or details to it, and I'm also using a very light green shade so that they look like trees, but they are usually just an idea of them. Now these trees are placed in the middle. This is where they are slightly bigger and slightly darker than the last one. I'm again making like very whimsical tree shapes, nothing too serious or lifelike. This tree is the closest to us as a viewer, so they are the biggest in shape, and I also made it a bit cooler tone. You saw me add some blue. Trees don't have blue, but that's the part of it. That's the part of having fun, and the tree trunks also look very whimsical, and I wasn't so sure about them at first, but in the end they look pretty good to me. To add some more texture to the sky, I'm taking plain water and just splashing it over the sky so that when the water will cool down and dry up, it will create some dots. Skies can be intimidating, especially for me, but I don't know how I managed to pull this up. So I took darker shades of the sky gradient, which is placed behind as a background, and I loosely held my paintbrush to make smaller clouds towards the mountain and bigger clouds towards the top. Now I'm taking black and white marker to add more depth to my illustration, and I firstly started by adding a sun. I also painted some white stars and sparkles, and I took the black marker to add some very loose and imperfect shapes to the trees. As an exception, I chose the white marker to outline the biggest tree out here. As a final detail, I added some tiny grass, tiny flowers, and shading to the mountain as well as some highlights on the clouds. To finish off the painting, I added my watermark. Okay, the painting is complete. I'm so happy with how this turned out. It looks perfectly magical to me. Let me know how you think of it. What was your favorite part of the process and the final illustration? Please let me know. I will see you soon in another video. Bye bye.